y'all. Today I have the video that I have been dying to film. It is my therapy room tour, as you can tell by the title of this video. And let me just tell y'all, take a moment and say how thankful I am for this space. I don't think I can reiterate that enough. I didn't actually film my old therapy room, but you can kind of see the shape of it from way back when. It was very long and rectangular, and it was not very wide. So space allotment was very funky there. Still, I was lucky to have that space. Trust me, I know as therapists that you kind of get put wherever they can put you, because I have not always had a space. Sometimes you're on the auditorium stage, sometimes you're under the stairwell, sometimes you're sitting on the floor outside of the classroom. I have been all of those places. So I know how incredibly lucky I am to have this space. I am so thankful for it. I am absolutely in love with it, and I do not take it for granted 1 second of any day. But without further ado, I will get right into the video. So here is the entryway to my room. It just says "Welcome to Speech" on it, and I hung up these gold tassels. This is actually a banner from Michael's, and I cut it in half, and I did put half inside on my bulletin board. I have this drop-off bin for homework that I'm going to be using this year, as well as just the sign that kind of tells people where I am when I'm not in the room. And then we go inside. So first things first, we have behind my door, it just has a cute little saying. It says, "The person responsible for you is," and then a mirror so that you can see yourself. I got this idea from the 5'1" teacher. Hers was super adorable and rainbow themed. I had to stick with monochromatic to make it work with my room, so it's not as cute, but we are making it work. Then over here I have my Speech Bucks and my Speech Bucks sign, and also my Speech Bucks prize chart over there. Most of my friends, as you can see, have already earned some money. I just printed out some marble card pocket pattern that I made, and then I hot glued it together and laminated it. This is working out really well so far. What they can earn with their Speech Bucks are either a sticker, a secret code prize, which is just like a QWERTY code, which they don't know what it is and each one's different. And then they can get a school-wide incentive ticket or a chance to win my superhero cape. And I just have those listed up there with the different prices. So far my kids are loving that. This isn't everybody on my caseload. It's just for my older kiddos that I pull to the speech room. So the kids that I push into and my early intervention preschool kids, they are not on here just because they're not coming into this room, and it wouldn't make all that much sense. Moving right along, I've got my alphabet chart that I got from the Target dollar spot over the spring last year? Summer or spring? I can't remember. But it's adorable. It's got all of the letters of the alphabet, and then these are actually all pockets. And then we have felt pieces that, you know, you're looking for like initial L, so the lion you would put in the L pocket. I'm actually going to use it for my articulation kids with their sounds, so it could be in the initial position, the medial position, or the final position. That's how I'm going to use it this year. I'm very excited to do that. We can do like scavenger hunts and hide the pieces around the room, or just all types of different things. I'm even going to make some cards that fit into these pockets, so we're not just kind of limited to the felt pieces. So I'm very excited for that coming up. Then I've got my window welcome back to speech chart paper, pocket chart area. Up there it just says "Be kind." And then this was actually a mirror into the sensory room. So I covered it with the bedsheet from Walmart. I got some ruffle border from Michael's in the floral section, and then I just stuck some command hooks up so that I could hang up my chart paper, and then also my pocket chart when we were working on constructing sentences. So this is kind of the second hub of where we are, because I sit right here, and then I can turn around and write on things very easily. Then I've got my calendar from Target. I am in love with this. This is probably the most favorite thing in my room. I use this every day in the morning for our morning check-ins. The kiddos that I've worked with in the past have always had a really difficult time figuring out like the day of the week that it is, the date, the month, the season, all of that kind of good stuff. So we use this very frequently, and it also, that bottom portion right here that doesn't have anything stuck to it. It is a feeling, so it says today I am feeling, and then it gives you a bunch of different faces with different emotions, and so many of my kids are working on pragmatics and emotions and kind of identifying and understanding feelings. So we work on that at the beginning of every session. We talk about what day it is, what the date and the month is, the type of weather outside, what season we're in, and then how we're all feeling that day, and then everybody kind of picks a face and I will stick it up on the board. Over here ended up being my, I guess, objective area. For a while I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this, but then I decided to put up all of the objectives that we are working on every session so the kids know what they're targeting and they're kind of responsible for their own objectives. So I will pull them out and I will have them stick them up on the board before we get started so they are 100% aware of what they are working on for that speech session. I find that this helps a lot with accountability and that intrinsic motivation, and then this way when they're asked what did you do in speech today, they can't just shrug their shoulders and say that they don't know. So they know what they're working on, they know why we're doing what we're doing, and I think that's super helpful. So I just have articulation up now, and then I have a language header. Usually my groups are just artic or just language, but I can mix it up if need be. And then I just keep all of the slips of paper in this little container that I got from Walmart. So these are all my articulation ones, and there's a divider in here. And then these are all my language ones back here. And then this cart I got from Michael's. I have my little organizational, I think it's a thumbtack holder from the office section at the Dollar Tree, but I use it for dice so that I can put the dice in here and they can shake it and it doesn't fly all over the place. It's magnetic, so it just hangs out right there. These are all the pieces that I was talking about to the felt board. Here are some of the speech bucks. And then I've got these flossers, 2 different kinds, and I use these all the time to work on the R sound with my kiddos because that is a stubborn sound and those work like a charm. So pro tip in case you need any help making the R sound. Down here I've got my, I guess, artsy supplies. So I have scissors, glue, like regular liquid glue, and my crayons. These are all of my chart markers. This doesn't really belong here, but we're just gonna run with it. And then down here, if I can get down here, I just have some more arts and crafts supplies, some dot markers, and then these are all of the laminated sentence strips that I use in my pocket chart. So when we're working on grammatically correct sentences, pronoun usage, word order, we write everything on here, and then we kind of mix it up, and I have them decipher it and figure out what goes where, and they seem to really like that as well. This is just my backpack and the Guess Who game that we were working on this week. Here is my table, and these little brown paper bags are for activities coming up. This week we're going apple picking, so as you can see, this is my game called Rotten Apples. As you can also see, it's before I had my cricket, so the cut is not the best, but essentially it's an incentive game, and we put all of the apples, it's very hard to do with one hand, face down, and they either say their sound or answer their question or do whatever we're targeting, and then they pick an apple, and if it's a regular apple like this, they get to keep it in their little basket, and then hidden in here someplace, let's see, are some rotten apples with a worm in it. So here's one, and it's this grumpy worm, and the kiddos last year loved this, so if they get a worm they have to put all their apples back and start over, and then whoever has the most apples at the end wins. But like I said, last year they loved this, so I'm really excited to play it this year. But where were we? We were over here, moving on to my closet area. So back here I just have storage of all of my foam tile squares, extra chart paper, my pocket chart. Up top I have all my games as nicely organized as I could make it given the space. And then this closet here is where I keep most of my therapy materials. So this top shelf I have all of my scrapbook containers. So I have Halloween, Thanksgiving, and book companions, and then also ones for fall that I brought here. The rest I keep at home just because there's really no place else to put them. I've got a speech bubble, whiteboard, there is my sensory bin. On this shelf, this is all of my articulation stuff, this microphone is, you're picking up my voice, so I have my mirror for articulation so the kiddos can see how they have to move their mouth to make the sounds. These are phonology cards, these are sound cards, extra sound cards, Go Fish articulation, just a bunch of Arctic cards, and then these are all just like little incentives that I use. These are the poppers that I got at Target over the summer, some dinosaurs, this little playhouse we use, mostly for language with like prepositions, but that's where that fits. Then down here I have all of my language activities, so these are just, you know, verbs and inferencing decks. This is my gigantic gold dice that I have for when we're playing games. The felt books that I love so, so much. Photo cards for just like actions and verbs and things. And then these are all just language activities that were here when I got here that I'm excited to kind of dive into and use for this year. And then this bottom shelf right here are all of our testing materials that we've got for the county. Coming over here, this looks atrocious, but it is the Mega Blocks in this cardboard box down here. I have my barn, the audiometer, and then all of these are just like big books that did not fit anywhere else, so I just kind of slid them in here. And then up top here are my regular size books. I have regular books, holiday books. Then these are my magnetic like cookie sheets, and then these are just the laminated pockets for in case I forget to photocopy things. I can have multiple children use them. So that covers my closet. Moving on to here, I just have this filing cabinet, which initially I think I mentioned that I was gonna get rid of, but I ended up keeping it for storage because I definitely needed it. So I just labeled it with my Cricut. So I have book companions, food and felt, crafts, and miscellaneous items. I've shown these before. They're not any different than they were, so we'll leave that. This is just a letter board. I have put your positive pants on. That's just kind of been my saying these past few days, so that's what we're going to be going with. This area right here is kind of my command center for paperwork. So I have filled out SST forms there, blank SST forms. 2 lonely pictures of Hemi and Houdini. I definitely need to decorate this more. Some extra things that I'm just currently grabbing really quickly, or ones that I have to find a home for. This is my little command center for my calendar, IEP folders, triennial folders, and then SST folders. Just, I kind of stuck it all there. That works out really well since it's right next to my desk. And then we have my desk area, which is actually pretty clean. And I actually have a full-size desk this year. I did not have that in previous years because it did not fit in my room. This filing cabinet just has all student files in it. And then, honestly, my desk doesn't really have that much stuff in it, just like tape and a stapler and some things of that nature. I have this little organizer that kind of was here when I got here, some Clorox wipes, you know, hand sanitizer, a box full of glue sticks or hot glue. Those hot glue sticks, those don't actually stay there, but since I've been doing so much hot gluing, they've just stayed out. And then above that, I've got these 2 wire shelves, and this is where I keep all of my, I don't know, paper materials, books, things of that nature. So the top shelf is more like the labels for my log notes, my colored Astro Brights paper, textbooks from college, exam gloves, tissues, extra things like that. These 3 binders right here are dittos that I've collected over the years, so whether they're holiday dittos, dittos for articulation, phonology, pragmatics, grammatical things, all of those go in there. And then I have all of these book bins that are divided up by artic and phonology, social stories, following directions, vocabulary, sequencing, fluency, just things like that. So not super interesting, but that's kind of how I've just organized this whole area. And I do get this like super comfy chair. And then this is an extra PLS4 that we're using for pieces because it's missing a bunch of the manipulatives, but we're just going to keep it for extras. And I just have to find a place to put that for now. And that honestly is pretty much it for this whole room tour. I think that's everything. Like I said, I'm so thankful for this space this year. I could not be more excited to be in it. It's the perfect space for the kids that I have. It fits everything that I need. For the most part, I still have a little bit of decorating to do over there, but other than that, it's pretty set. The kids really like it. Nobody's been super distracted by anything, so I think we are good to go. This is the other side of my board. I went with this quote, "Dreams don't work unless you do." I'm kind of in love with it, and it's just something nice that people can see as they're walking by instead of just a blank wall or the backside of a bulletin board. So I thought that was super cute. I just cut it out on my Cricut, and it makes me happy when I get to walk by it. That about wraps it up for this video. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if you like room tours just as much as I do. Also, if you have a room tour of your own that you filmed, be it your classroom, your therapy room, your bedroom, anything you want to share, leave it in the comments down below because I love watching those. I also like watching cleaning videos, surprisingly, so if you have any of those, leave those down below too. Irrelevant side note. Also, make sure you're following me up above so you are notified all the time when I post a new video. Definitely once weekly. I'm hoping for it to be twice weekly, but we will see. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!